Remember my missing runner you found in the upper city?
One of the siblings with the hidden cache? I do.
Yes. One of my group heads got a little... paranoid. He's since been dealt with. Anyway, I have a conundrum. We recovered the body. Thank you for that, by the way.
I noticed there's no dead anywhere in the Enclave.
There were. Tens of thousands right after the Surge, and another wave after the Surgeborn attacks before Asylum. We found everyone we could and gave them rights. Took years. Anyway, the problem now is I have a dead runner who broke all kinds of rules, and I'm not entirely sure how to handle it. The group heads need to know this happened. That's a given. But do I tell all the scouts? They could learn something from it.
Scouts died, and their family will be grieving. It's respectful to them to not share this widely. I'd keep the details to the group heads. Let them deal with any rumors.
I do worry the rumors will get out of control. But I see your point. Appreciate the advice, Bryn. Always good to get another perspective on these things. I just wish the siblings had talked to me before they felt they had to sneak around. I can't believe we actually did it. It's been a pleasure working with your band. If we could match the drive and efficiency you all show, this place would be fixed in months.
Frankly, this is the life, isn't it? The thrill of discovery, the moments where the risks pay off. I don't want to just idle. There's so much to do and see in here. So keep the challenges coming.
You've got a deal. Even if you do make me miss my field days.
Just hop on our superior scry. It's just like you're there. Only you don't get clawed by drakes.
True. I do not miss that part. I'll get the runners on hauling that crate up and let you know when I know more. Teams are already working on the recovery of that chest you found.
Think we'll get lucky and it'll be the scries?
I'm allowing myself a glimmer of hope. All the research we did says it's possible.
I brought you a bag full of what looks like Arthur's breakfast.
The ink caps and sprigs of Diane's chorus. Lovely. And Oria didn't have any problems with Watcher's Wisp.
She noticed a pretty immediate improvement. Seems like it worked a treat.
Wonderful. I'll keep on producing the solution for her then. Another project on my to-do list. How delightful.
We're not overloading you, are we?
Quite the opposite. If I only had one thing to think about, I'd be tearing my hair out in frustration. This suits me. For example, since this began, I've been thinking about what else I could do with those glowing plants you collected. Perhaps I could mix up glow-in-the-dark ink, for example. My focus is on utility, though. And one must ask, would glow-in-the-dark ink be helpful? What do you think?
Oh, I've got an idea.
Do tell.
Use it to write funny messages on Darn's table that only show up at night.
That's not at all what I was expecting. What would you write down?
Please feed me more often. From Ava.
That's preposterous. Ava wouldn't say that. She'd say something along the lines of, "Give me more belly rubs or I'll crush you in your sleep." I'm tickled by the suggestion, though. I think Darn would see the funny side, too. Nevertheless, I will keep you abreast of any developments, though I think this project may fall by the wayside in favor of more pressing concerns for now.
Absolutely. Do you need anything else? If not, I'll leave you to it.
Not right now. Thank you for your help.
Anytime. Now that we have a pattern tracer, it's time to head to Cassidy's hold.
Arakim mentioned you wanted to compare a mantle with Matteo Agretius?
We'd like to see if he might be my father.
All right. I've set his mantle aside for you. I'll need yours too, and the pattern tracer to perform the test.
You all right?
A little nervous.
I have to say, your mantle is spectacular. Matteo's easily pales in comparison.
Oh, thank you. And, is he my father?
No, I'm sorry. It's not a match.
Oh, I see.
Hey, we'll keep looking. Maybe now it's time to talk to Lane?
You're right. We should consult with them. I just thought... Silly. I'll see you back at camp.
That should do it.
That was incredible.
It was certainly exhilarating.
Are you okay?
Yes, it's just no small feat to power an arc manually. Even a smaller one like this. It takes a lot out of me. We still don't know how the Enclave was able to catalyze an arc's ability to absorb raw magic on its own. Weavers certainly weren't powering them the way I just did.
Still, what a leap forward.
Indeed. You have no idea what this means to me. Thank you for all your help.
Isla, what you did, I have to say, I'm impressed. Perhaps I misjudged your ambitions with the Arcs.
Perhaps? That is an understatement. You've never taken me seriously.
Isla, I'm trying to...
Just like you've never taken the Surgeborn seriously. I watched Bryn's expedition to the Underworks.
You left Cassidon's hold. That is against my direct orders.
Oh, just like you ordered to sweep hundreds of Surgeborn under the rug instead of actually doing something about them.
This is your doing, somehow. What have you done to turn my daughter against me?
You're the one yelling at her for having dreams and ambitions, not me. Stop driving your daughter away.
Bryn didn't do anything wrong. Working with her has shown me what I've always known, deep down. That you've sheltered me from the truth for too long. And that there are people who value the work I want to achieve.
Isla, this isn't like you. These weavers have corrupted your mind, or...
Your lies are what's been messing with my head. After all, we both know that's not the only thing you've lied about.
As the Eye, it is my job to hide things from you, from everyone, for your protection. And that's all I've ever done.
I don't want to hear another word from you right now.
Isla.
Just go.
Wow. That can't have been easy.
It was a long time coming. I need to go process all that just happened. But thank you for everything. And when it comes to dealing with the Surgeborn, just know that from now on, I've got your back.
Good to hear. We're going to need it.
I'm guessing Staneld family dinners have been awkward lately.
Try non-existent. I wanted to believe my father was a good person deep down, if driven by fear at times. Now, I just don't know.
You're pretty brave to stand up to your father, let alone the leader of the Enclave.
I should have done it sooner. I was blinded by love.
Our parents are supposed to teach us right from wrong. That moment when we have to trust ourselves and defy them? It's a big one. Not everyone could do what you just did. I know it took a lot.
Thank you. And Bryn, my father might be willing to let the Surgeborn take over, but I'm not him. I'm with you until the end, whatever it takes.
You are the last person I wish to speak to right now.
What did I ever do to you?
My own flesh and blood isn't speaking to me because of you.
She's not speaking to you because you lied to her.
It was for her protection. Information is power, and I will protect her at all costs. Even from you, if I have to.
And what is that supposed to mean?
It means you will soon learn that we can handle our affairs well enough without your help. The Axel mentioned you were asking about my dear friend, Matteo Agretius.
You were close?
Matteo was a great man. In the aftermath of the surge, he went back for families that couldn't evacuate to Nevron. Sadly, he passed away a few years ago. You were comparing mantles to see if there might be a family relation?
Aurea was hoping he might be her father, but it turns out he's not.
Unfortunate. What an impressive lineage she would have.
Ah, Bryn. Good to see you. What was the outcome of your work with Isla? I'm still hoping to draw upon her expertise for my next task.
She got the Ark in our camp up and running. Only for a moment, but Isla was thrilled. It'll be huge for her research on regaining control of the Arks. But she had a pretty intense argument with the Eye afterwards. I think it was a long time coming. It seems like she's finally done letting her father manipulate her.
An interesting development. She all right?
I think so. Let's bring her over.
Please tell me you've got a distraction for me.
Are you all right, Isla?
I'm just, a little tired, is all. Between powering an Ark by myself and confronting my father on the same day. Even as a previous High Enchantress, it took a lot out of me. I'm still working my way through it. And I need to figure out an independent power source for the Ark. It's too much to think about.
I'm sorry. Should we do this another time?
No. Please. I need distractions. Or I might be tempted to set the hold ablaze.
Fair enough. What have you got for us, Karnatame?
An issue we faced in the early days of their appearance and are now facing once again is the ability of the Surgeborn to navigate the Enclave. Put simply, they are using our Loomgate network to traverse great distances in an instant. We can't let that stand. I'm only familiar with the Loomgate's design through my parents' work on them. But Bryn recently helped us access a supply cache in the Institute, and we found something that could help. A set of schematics for a device to block the Surgeborn from using the Loomgates while keeping them accessible to us.
A way to filter out the Surgeborn without endangering Weavers. It could significantly impact their ability to fight us. How can I help?
Well, they're incomplete, and I was hoping you could tell us what's missing. Here, take a look.
Let's see... A resonance modulator.
Bryn, while she looks over the schematics, do you have any questions?
I've had enough. The sooner we get this modulator built, the sooner we can secure the loom gates. I'm assuming you'll be the one to build this. What do I need to bring you?
To be frank, considering all your Weaver Band's achieved since you arrived, it's clear to me that you brought with you an expertise that we did not retain through the dark days of the Surge. With that in mind, I would love to leave this in your Smith's capable hands. She must have had a world-class mentor.
She's primarily self-taught, actually. But I'll pass on the compliment. She'll be thrilled to hear it.
That's astonishing. Let's go through what's needed then. For the body of the device, you'll just need some calm steel. But the rest... Do you have any preliminary thoughts, Isla?
Yes. Like you said, it's amazingly simple. What's missing from the schematics is the part that allows us to calibrate it. But it's clear in my mind what the finished design should look like. Give me a moment. There. It's like the design itself wanted me or someone to finish it. To calibrate it, we'll need some representative samples of Surgeborn. Let's say husk and huskhound fur. Get plenty of both.
What do I do with it when I'm done?
There's a central control panel for the loom gates in the Archon's hearth. You should be, well, familiar with it already.
At least I can't unleash the Surgeborn a second time. Will it be easy to find where to put the modulator?
It should be easy, but you'll know if you do it right.
Gotcha. Time to hunt a few Surgeborn. Hey.
Bryn. I haven't known you for long, but I can tell when someone's about to ask me a frustrating question. Out with it.
You forced my hand. So, what's the deal with you and Isla?
This is a workplace. We're colleagues. We both represent a number of guilds. By the flames, we're known for working well together, as our offices command. That's all.
All right, I'll buy it. So, how about all that sunshine we've been having?
Yes, the sun's out. Very astute. If that brilliant observation is all you have to offer, I'll thank you to let me get back to my work.
Isla, I've loved watching you work on the loom gates with Kana Tomei.
Oh, yes. These changes will do wonders for the Enclave. We're making a real difference.
Oh, for sure. And the two of you get along really well.
Historically, the enchanters and the crafters haven't always aligned, but we found plenty of common ground.
How about outside of your official duties?
What do you mean?
I guess what I'm asking is, do you spend any time with her outside of work?
I'd never considered it. I tend to keep to myself. Besides, I'm sure she would rather be buried in her pile of requisitions than entertain me.
Isla, word to the wise, no one wants to be buried in requisitions.
I was really hoping we'd find my father among the statues, but it's time to expand the search. You were right, Lane.
I often am. Let's build a census of male Oberon in the Enclave within a limited time frame that makes sense for your birth. Knowing your father had to have been here when the veil went up narrows our search significantly.
Time to chase a paper trail. Between the two of us, we'll find your father.
Yes.
Hey, listen.
What is it?
Statue or no statue, I'm sure your dad was every bit the hero that your mom said he was.
Our archival work might not be the most glamorous way to chase down a lost relative, but it is effective.
You're right.
So, what do you make of the Eye hiding the extent of the Surgeborn threat from his colleagues?
From what I can tell, the Eye wants the same thing as everyone else. Peace in the Enclave. He just has a different way of achieving it.
Right. But lying to his own daughter is hardly justified.
He didn't lie. He merely withheld information.
There isn't really a difference.
Sure there is. Lying is deceitful and often involves betrayal. But at times, secrets are needed for protection.
Who are his secrets protecting? Him or her?
Well, her, of course.
Sev, I'd be careful of people who withhold information. You don't know what they're keeping from you.
Remember my
One of...
Yes, anyway.
I...
We found a key. Anyway, the group heads need to know this happened. That's a given.
If I were you, I'd get in front of this. Word's going to get around eventually. If it hasn't already. Face it head on. Be honest. People will be concerned at first. But in the long run, they'll appreciate the transparency.
Right. Let them hear it from me and the whole story. Yes, there was a problem. Yes, it's been dealt with. Might upset a few, but in the end, it'll build trust. Appreciate the advice, Bryn. Always good to get another perspective on these things. I just wish the siblings had talked to me before they felt they had to sneak around. I can't believe we actually did it. It's been a pleasure working with your band. If we could match the drive and efficiency you all show, this place would be fixed in months.
I know you've got folks newer at this than me, and they need time to spread their wings. I don't mind pitching in when it's for a good cause.
Entirely true, and entirely appreciated. I'll get the runners on hauling that crate up, and let you know when I know more. You're seriously telling me Carnhaven is now completely independent from Sansa? Teams are already working on the recovery.
Think we'll get lucky?
I'm allowing myself.
I brought you
The ink.
She noticed.
Wonderful. I'll keep on producing the solution for her then. Another project on my to-do list. How delightful.
We're not over.
Quite the opposite. For example, perhaps I could... My focus, and one must ask, would glow-in-the-dark ink be helpful? What do you think?
Maybe you could use it to mark a creature.
For hunting purposes?
Yeah. So you tag one, and it would leave a glowing trail back to its lair.
Fascinating. I wouldn't have thought of that. You have a powerfully tactical mind.
Well, you know, anything to make my job easier.
I don't know if I could ever make the ink glow long enough for that to work, but I like the way you think. Nevertheless, I will keep you abreast of any developments, though I think this project may fall by the wayside in favor of more pressing concerns for now.
Absolutely. Do you need anything else? If not, I'll leave you to it.
Not right now. Thank you for your help.
Anytime. Now that we have a pattern tracer, it's time to head to Cassidy's hold.
It was...
Are you okay?
Yes, it's just... It takes weavers, sir.
Still,
Indeed.
Isla, what you did?
Perhaps.
Isla,
Just like you've never taken the Surgeborn seriously. I watched Bryn's expedition to the Underworks.
you...
Oh, just like you all...
This is your doing, somehow. What have you done to turn my daughter against me?
No one is against anyone. Our Weaver Band is here to help, starting with getting the Surgeborn under control.
Bryn didn't do anything wrong. That you've sheltered me.
Isla, this isn't like you.
Your lies! After all,
As the Eye, it is...
I don't want to hear another...
Isla,
Just go.
Wow.
It was... and when it comes...
Good to hear.
I'm guessing...
I wanted to believe my father was a good person deep down, if driven by fear at times. Now, I just don't know.
Maybe he was doing what he thought was right. We're all capable of making mistakes, no matter how good our intentions are.
I don't see how his fears could have led him to lies this deep.
That's probably because you're braver than he is. You're ready to face the truth, no matter what it costs.
Thank you. And Bryn? My father might be willing to let the Surgeborn take over, whatever it...
Ah, What was the outcome?
She got the Ark and it'll be... But it seemed...
An interest.
I think so.
Please tell me.
Are you...
Between... Even as a preview, and I need...
I'm sorry.
No.
Fair enough.
An issue we faced in the... Put simply, I'm only familiar with the... But Bryn recently had a set of schematic.
A way to...
Well, they're
Let's...
Bryn, while she looks...
I've had enough. I'm assuming...
To be frank, it's clear to... With that in mind...
She's primarily...
That's astonishing for the body, but the rest...
Yes, but there. Let's say...
What do I do with...
There's a central... It should be...
Gotcha. Hey.
Bryn, I haven't known...
You forced my hand, so...
We're colleagues. By the flames, we're known for working well together, as our offices command. That's all.
Come on. You're saying you have no interest in her whatsoever? She's adorable, and extremely smart and powerful. Who wouldn't want to run off into the sunset with her?
Bryn, please. Even if I were, theoretically, I doubt she has time for someone between her council duties and her own research. But I am not. I respect and appreciate her as a colleague. Nothing more.
Uh-huh.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I have requisitions to process and ridiculous questions to ignore. Arakim mentioned you wanted...
We'd like to...
All right.
You all right?
I have to...
Oh,
No.
oh,
Hey.
you're right. I'll see you.
Isla.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, for sure. Stop. How about... I guess...
Besides...
Isla?
You are the love.
What did I ever...
My own flesh and...
She's not speak...
It was for... Even from...
And what is that?
It means you... The Axel mentioned...
You were close.
Teo was a great... Sadly, he...
Aurea was hoping...
Unfortunate.
I was really hoping we'd find... You were right.
Let's build a scent. Knowing your time to chase...
Yes.
Aurea, are you sure you're all right? Is this really just about your dad?
Of course. Sorry, I just... really thought we would have found him already.
We will soon.
Our archival work might not be the most glamorous way to chase...
You're right.
So...
He just...
Right.
He did...
There isn't really...
So...
Who?
Well...
Sev.
I can't believe we actually... It's been a pleasure working with your band. If we could match the drive and efficiency you all show, this...
You've been a support since we met, Arakim. I'm happy to work with you, especially if it helps us recover lost treasures.
We make a good team, Bryn. I'll get the runners on hauling that crate up, and let you know when I know more. Teams are already working on...
Think we'll get lucky?
I'm allowing myself a glimmer. Remember my missing...
One of the siblings.
Yes. Anyway...
I noticed...
We found every... Anyway, the group heads need to know...
If I were you, face it.
Right. My ups... Appreciate... I just...
I brought you a bag full of what looks like Arthur.
The ink caps and sprigs of Diane's chorus. Lovely.
She noticed a...
Wonderful. I'll keep another project.
We're not...
Quite the opposite. For example, perhaps I could... My focus, and one must ask, would glow-in-the-dark ink be helpful? What do you think?
Perhaps it could be used to make maps that you can read by starlight.
I don't know. I read all of my research materials by lantern light, so I don't know if it would be especially useful to have glowing maps.
If it were up to me, all my maps would glow in the dark. But I use them differently than you do.
Oh, of course. I hadn't considered that perspective at all. Perhaps I should try researching in the dark to better understand how you operate.
I don't think you'd make much of a dent in your workload. But sometimes it's nice to sit in the dark with only your thoughts. It's worth a shot.
Very true. After all, the idea for enhancing Watcher's Wisp only came to me while I was staring at a tree.
A tree?
Upon further reflection, I don't think I could possibly make that make sense to you. My point is, as you suggested, idle thought can indeed yield wonderful dividends in inspiration. Nevertheless, I will keep you abreast of any developments, though I think this project may fall by the wayside in favor of more pressing concerns for now.
Absolutely. Do you need anything else? If not, I'll leave you to it.
Not right now. Thank you for your help.
Anytime. Now that we have a pattern tracer, it's time to head to Cassidy's Hold.
Arakim mentioned we'd like to see... All right.
You all right?
I have to say... Oh, no. Oh.
Hey.
You're right. I'll see you...
The Axel mentioned you were asking about my dear friend.
You were close?
Teo was a great man. Sadly, he passed away.
Aurea was hoping he might...
Unfortunate.
That should do it.
Was incredible.
It was so...
Are you
Yes, it's just... It takes a lot of... Weavers...
Still.
Indeed.
Isla, what you did?
Perhaps.
Isla.
Just like you've never...
Oh, just like you or...
This is your doing, somehow. What have you done to turn my daughter against me?
Isla witnessed the Surgeborn's destructive influence for herself. Whatever conclusion she came to is her own.
Bryn didn't do anything wrong. Working with her has shown me what I've always known, deep down. That you've sheltered me from the truth for too long. And that there are people who value the work I want to achieve.
Isla, this isn't like you. These weavers...
Your lies are what's been... After all...
As the Eye, it is my...
I don't want to hear it.
Isla.
Just go.
Wow. That...
And when it comes to...
Good to hear.
You are the love.
What did I ever...
My own flesh.
She's not speak...
It was for, even from...
And what...
It means...
I'm
I wanted to believe my father was a good person deep down, if driven by fear at times. Now...
I don't believe people are inherently good or bad. How they act is what matters.
Lying to your electorate about a threat to their existence is certainly a choice. I keep going back and forth on if the father I loved is the real him, or if it's what blinded me to his lies all this time.
You can't blame yourself. He fooled everyone.
Thank you. And Bryn, my father might be willing to let the Surgeborn take whatever it takes.
What was the outcome of...
She got the... It'll be... But it seemed...
An interest...
I think so.
Please,
Are you...
between even as and
I'm sorry.
No!
Fair enough.
An issue put I'm only but Bryn, a set of...
Away?
Well, let's... Bryn.
Where's this device going once we finish building it?
The resonance modulator should connect directly to the harness. You've already been there.
Returning to the scene of the crime. Why there?
The harness acts as a central nexus that controls not just Asylum, but our loom gates and all of the Enclave's transit points. Hence, why you were able to use it to open up the underworks in the first place.
At least I can't unleash the Surgeborn a second time.
Small mercies.
Why didn't they finish the schematic?
My understanding is that at that time, our bureaucracy was growing to the point of being rather unwieldy. I still grapple with the remnants of that bureaucracy every day, so I can imagine that whoever was working on these schematics, let's just say that they were probably told to submit it to a committee before proceeding with the design.
Even though it was urgent and would have saved hundreds of lives?
For some people, propriety dictates priority. That's my guess, anyway. And, for the record, much of my life's work has been in service of streamlining that kind of bureaucracy. We cannot risk following the same path that led us to ruin.
How do we know that this modulator will work?
Whoever designed this clearly knew what they were doing. It's beautiful, elegant work.
I'll say. It feels familiar, almost. I can't quite put my finger on it.
We could check through the rest of the paperwork, see if we can find out who the author is, if you'd like.
Yes. I'd love to.
I've had enough. The sooner we get this modulator built, the sooner we can secure the loom gates. I'm assuming you'll be the one to build this. What do I need to bring you?
To be frank, considering all your Weaver Band's achieved since you arrived, it's clear to me that you brought with you an expertise that we did not retain through the dark days of the Surge. With that in mind, I would love to leave this in your Smith's capable hands. She must have had a world-class mentor.
She's primarily self-taught, actually. But I'll pass on the compliment. She'll be thrilled to hear it.
That's astonishing. Let's go through what's needed then. For the body of the device, but the rest?
Yes, but there. Let's say...
And then I take...
Exactly.
It should be pretty... Gotcha. Hey.
Bryn, I haven't...
You forced my... So?
We're... By the flames, we're known for working well together, as our officers command. That's all. Whatever mind games you're playing, I won't be part of them. You know, I think you need to spend more time slaying Surgeborn and less time daydreaming.
But in your heart of hearts, theoretically...
This conversation is over.
Isla, I've loved... Oh, how about...
what?
I guess...
Besides...
Isla...
I was really hoping you were right.
Let's build
Knowing time to check...
Yes.
I know you were really hoping he was a Weaver hero. It's okay if you're feeling let down.
No. Silly.
Stop saying that. It's not.
Our archival work might not be the most glamorous way to...
You're right.
So,
From... He just...
Right.
He didn't...
there isn't...
Sure that... Well...
Sev.
Brutish, yet elegant. I've always wanted to build something like this.
mercantile markings on this crate. Sev's from Taza. Complicated. The seal on this paperwork looks exactly like the water wheel symbol Sev and the Eye both wear. Definitely the right place. For sealant. Waterproof joints for piping and such, it looks like.
be the condensing chamber.
pivotal piece of the puzzle, as Elaine would say. Others might call them dull. Maybe Oria's father is among them. My old point, Aaron, used to boast he could sell an Oberon their molted feathers. Ugh. Bastion. Lane said to look for regiment records. These are the regiment records Lane asked for. My father told me stories about how instrumental the Oberyn were in the wars for Carnhaven's independence. They would glide behind enemy lines and strike with precision. I suppose if anywhere were going to be too full of magic, it would be this place.
A lot of the records were lost, but we know the real innovation happened down here.
And the Enclave's innovations took a lot of magic. Right.
The incandescent arch houses another loom gate.
What have you got for us, Lane?
I've narrowed it down to 3 likely candidates. A Hallowpire priest, a farmer, and the last military commander prior to the evacuation to Cassidon's Hold.
A military commander sounds promising. How do we narrow down which of those 3 is my father?
That's where we step away from the books and do some investigating. Bryn?
I'll check the garrison, the market, and the Hallowpire Rise for any traces of these Oberon. So, Norians.
I've been digging. The Tarzan trading company that shipped the crates you found was the lead I needed. The Norians were experts in water storage and conveyance, and active before the surge, but disappeared shortly thereafter. Or rather, they wanted to disappear and subsumed their identities into a series of careful fronts, cover names, and the like. Thankfully, the trade record you found led to a whole web of associations, many of whom have had dealings with my family.
What did you find out about the Norians before the surge?
They seemed a somewhat innocuous guild of specialists, traded under different names even then, making them a bit hard to track. But as far as I could tell, they mostly dealt in water.
Dealt, meaning what in this context?
Aqueducts, reservoirs, wells, you name it. If it stored, gathered, extracted, or moved water, they were involved.
That explains the complicated valve I found underground.
Absolutely. They had specialized knowledge, which I assume is why the Enclave contracted them. Gas, such as raw magic, is a fluid after all.
How is the Norian Order related to Tarza?
As I'm sure you know, Tarza is an amalgam of numerous desert kingdoms. Before the surge, Tarza had grown reliant on the same weather control enchantments that were used in Judea. After the surge, both nations suffered greatly. Tarza in particular was struck with savage droughts.
Meaning folks, like the Norians, who specialize in water had essential skills and knowledge.
I expect they were critical in keeping Tarza's many cities alive at all, a position that would afford them considerable influence.
Do you have any idea why they decided to hide?
Purely conjecture, but let's look at the evidence. We know from Sev's ring that the Norians are still around today.
It could be a trinket, or hand-me-down. But you're right that his behavior with the eye suggests they're associated.
Exactly. Now consider the Order's secretive nature. Combined, I would speculate that the Norians used the surge as leverage to become a power behind the thrones. Take a nation that used magic to keep the water flowing, face it with disaster and drought. What kind of deals might a group of desperate rulers be willing to make, do you think?
But monarchs wouldn't want anything that undercuts their authority or power to slip out to the populace.
As I said, pure conjecture, but if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck...
How did you get logs of your own family's accounts, anyway?
I stole them.
Really?
Oh yes, detailed transactions from private ledgers. No one quite sure if you made copies or where they're hidden if you did. Better than bodyguards when it comes to ensuring one's safety. I did not leave my family under the best auspicious.
Knowing what we know now, what do we do about Sev?
I believe we can say for sure that he and the Eye are somehow related through this Norian organization. From Sev's visits to the Hold, I imagine they're working together on something, but I'm not sure exactly what else to do with that information.
I gave Sev some help collecting materials. He's definitely working on some kind of project. He asked me to trust him. Maybe it's time to ask for that favor in return.
A good idea. Speak to Sola first, though. I've updated her, and she might have some ideas on how best to confront him.
Thanks for your help, Lane.
It's no trouble at all. This is what I do, and I rather enjoy it.
Sev. What are we going to do with you?
You know him better than me. Can we trust him?
I hope so. But it's pretty obvious Sev is being pressured by the Eye due to their Norian connection. And I do not trust him. Anyway, what did you learn from helping Sev?
He's either constructing or repairing something that requires exotic materials.
As I said, it reminded me of how he fixed the gate in the Hollow. I would wager the Eye heard about our exploits.
Could be.
He's a clever one, our Ram. There's really only one thing for it.
Direct confrontation.
We're going to let him know we care. Then we're going to let him sit with it. Wait for me in the hold. We'll talk to him there. Away from the others. So he doesn't feel like we're ganging up on him.
You're seriously telling me Carnhaven is now...
Hello, Sebastian.
Sola. Ring. Hello?
Hey. Listen, we just have something to say.
Shh.
You're good. Just listen. For a second, okay? We know the Eye has you working on some project. We know you two have some kind of connection, and we want you to know it's okay.
Look, Sev. I know the Eye has fancier robes than us, a nicer place, and you can't question his taste in jewelry. But we've got Moxie. Casmin cooks a mean stew, and you really can't discount the importance of a hearty meal. You're always welcome around our campfire, is what I'm saying.
Exactly. Anytime you need to talk, apprentice of mine, you know where we are. And we'll listen.
I don't know what to say.
You'll know when it's time. We'll see you at camp, okay?
Yes. Thank you.
How are you feeling about our talk with Sev?
Surprisingly good. If there's one thing I know, it's when people are really listening. And that young man knows how to listen. He'll do what's right.
I heard you and Solar confronted Sev in the hold. I know you thought he was doing something, maybe for or with the Eye. I won't pry, but did it go okay?
Sola did most of the talking. Handled it well. And then she used his full name to make her point.
Oof, poor guy. Well, whatever's happening, it's got the Eye excited. He's been moving supplies to the Grand Gate, and Sev's been seen down there too. It's a loot gate large enough for the Great Arcs. I'm still not sure why. He's seconded some enchanters and crafters and sworn them to secrecy. They basically live in a camp down there.
Might be trying to repair it. Sev has a knack for understanding how to do that kind of thing.
Yeah, but why? It bothers me no one seems to know except the Eye.
Ever since we learned of the Verdant Mines, I haven't been able to stop thinking about them. They were clearly well-resourced in regards to both labor power and knowledge. And they had an extremely intimate knowledge of the Enclave's technology. But do you know who was around to see their rise and fall, but hasn't spoken a word about it?
Cassidon's Hold's biggest ass?
The very same. I just think it's interesting how he's kept quiet about it. Don't you?
I don't expect much from him.
I don't know if he was involved with the events surrounding the Verdant Mines' attempt to take down the Veil, but he certainly bore witness.
So what are you thinking?
I'd like to send you out on a fact-finding mission for now. Meanwhile, I'll pore over my existing research for clues.
Gotcha. I'll be back when I've found everything you're after.
Thanks, Bryn. I'll get to work here, too.
Well, that did something. I should go check with the axle that it worked. Hope I'm not interrupting anything with her and the spindle.
So the curves of the metal suggest...
I definitely think an enchanter had a hand in this, as well as someone with intimate knowledge of the loom gates.
Those two people could possibly be one person even. Though I can't fathom who it would be.
Keeping yourselves busy, I see?
It's a conundrum for the ages, that's for sure.
Ah, Bryn. You're back.
You've done amazing work with the resonance modulator. I'm certain this will be a turning point for us.
Thanks. But how do you know it worked?
The loom gate started glowing a strange color before you arrived. I took it as a hint that you'd succeeded.
Spoiled the surprise.
I'm sure the Surgeborn will be plenty surprised when they next try to use the loom gates.
Suffice to say, we're thrilled, Bryn. In a short time, you've done a lot to help us. We were, obviously, a little hesitant to trust newcomers.
Our first impression wasn't the best.
But now, we're in a much better situation when it comes to survival.
Thank goodness you had a dashing and deadly dame to do all your dangerous deeds. That's me. I'm the dame.
We don't do titles here, so don't get any big ideas.
Sure thing. Axel. Or is Khan Arteme better?
I was elected. That's completely different.
Isla's got the right idea. Just saying. Nobody's bowing to the almighty spindle.
I wouldn't complain if they did.
So, let's recap for a moment. 1. We've stopped Surgeborn from navigating the Loomgate network by using the resonance modulator. 2. We've made huge leaps forward in regaining control over the Arcs. 3. We've armed and supplied the Scouts.
It certainly doesn't cast our last decade of work in a forgiving light, does it?
Listen, you've been surviving this crisis for a long time the only way you knew how. But now you have a path to move forward. Your people can choose to follow it, or dwell on past mistakes. Are we ready to face this threat head-on together?
Yes. You're right. Of course you are. We're at the point, resource-wise, where we can start making moves.
I don't really want to speak to my father right now. But I agree that it's time we put pressure on him to do something. Anything. Regardless of what he does. You've earned our support, Bryn. But first, I'd actually like to steal this elected official away for a while. If you don't mind. I have some notes to go over with her.
By all means. Have fun.
I suppose I'll just get right to it. Why do you treat me differently?
What do you mean?
Everyone else gets the stern you, the you who's in charge, the Axel. But I get the friendly face, the compliance, this you who I don't understand. Is it because of my dad? Because everyone answers to him? Are you trying to get close to him through me? I can't handle it, Haroon. I need to know that I'm not just being manipulated by everyone around me.
It's not because of that.
Then... what is it?
I spend time around you because I want to. To see you, to speak with you, to work alongside you. To see the look in your eyes when you solve a problem. Skies, I shouldn't... None of this is... If we could find somewhere else, beyond the gaze of the hold...
Haroon.
Stop.
Take my hand. And we'll go. I have a place in mind. I didn't see it before, but... I think... I would like to tell you of the ways in which you are important to me, too. Oh, Bryn. You were right about the requisitions.
Obviously.
Things between my father and I are maybe not improving, but shifting. He apologized for not taking my work seriously, and it seemed genuine this time.
Did he apologize for all the lying?
He's trying to make amends for that, in his own way. He's even brought me onto an enchanting project he's been working on. It's hard. Part of me wants the relationship we used to have back. A bigger part of me knows it's gone for good.
You're probably right that you can't go back. But if he loves you enough to atone, maybe there's a path for the two of you.
I know I need to keep my guard up for now. But truthfully, I want that more than anything.
Congratulations on successfully recalibrating the loom gates. It's an impressive achievement, considering your thimble broke the harness and prevented us from resetting the loom gate connections. Helping with this initiative was the least you could do for us.
It's amazing what happens when we pool our resources.
Normally, I would impose sanctions on the Axle for inviting an outsider to access the harness. A rather grave breach of protocol, if I'm being honest. But thankfully for her, this aligns with our upcoming security efforts.
And what efforts would those be?
Confidential, I'm afraid.
What's going on?
Arik, why don't you fill her in?
Our plan worked. The Eye is mobilizing the scouts for a large-scale attack on the Surgeborn.
I take it the Axle and the Spindle put him up to this?
Yes. Not that Khan Stanold is admitting that. He claims that with the supply shortage taken care of and the Ark restoration underway, now is the time to strike.
And Bryn is receiving due credit for all her work, I'm sure.
No.
So what's his plan?
The scouts will stage a distraction in the underworks, while the Eye and the Spindle do something to the Grand Gate. That's all I know. The Eye wants everyone to convene at Cassidon's Hold for a speech to learn more.
He wants us there.
Khan Stanold loves an audience. Doesn't matter who's in it.
I thought you'd be happier about all this.
I have reservations about the Eye launching a plan using my scouts without consulting me.
The reality is, The leader of the Enclave has the power and influence we need to take a stand against the Surgeborn, regardless of how likable the man holding the title may be.
Power and influence, sure, but not the expertise.
We faced down Surgeborn and monsters, repaired lost innovations, and even won over the grumpiest of guild leaders. We're ready for anything, no matter what happens.
It can't hurt to hear his big speech before jumping to conclusions.
I'm here to escort you. Talk to me when you're ready. You've stirred up quite a bit of trouble.
Oh?
I've just read the brief from the last council meeting. The Eye is facing united opposition. Everyone's calling for him to make a move against the Surgeborn. Keep your weapons close, Bryn. Ready to head to Cassidan's Hold?
Still need more time.
I'm here when you're ready. Don't take too long. Ready to head to Cassidan's Hold?
As ready as I'll ever be.
Great. Hey, while it's just the two of us, I'll be deploying to the Underworks almost immediately after we arrive. Watch Khan Stanild for me, will you? I know Oriel wants you to give him a chance, but he can't be trusted.
I'm always ready for anything, Eric.
I know. Let's move.
Decades of caution have been rewarded, friends. For this moment, and not one sooner, is the precise time to strike. Today, we wrangle our lands free from the Surgeborn's grasp and reclaim our hearth once more. Whatever it takes. None of this could be possible without the esteemed prowess of the Spindle. Her work on the Arcs has laid the foundation for my plan. She and I will proceed to the Grand Gate at once. Scouts, you have your orders. It's time. Whatever it takes.
Bryn, you need to come with me.
Now?
Yeah, no time to explain. And Aurea, you should get on the scry.
All right. Whatever you need.
Let's go. Sev, I know you said there's no time to explain, but want to give me a clue as to where we're going?
So, obviously I've been working with the Eye. Well, he had me repair the Grand Gate. It's connected to this place called the Source, and I guess that's where the Surgeborn came from. He's got this plan to go there and solve this problem once and for all.
Right. I heard that part of his speech already. What does this have to do with us sprinting like an Ash Peak Drake is on our heels?
So there's, it's better if I just... show you.
Perfect. As punctual as you are daring.
Sev, what's going on?
I don't know.
Oh, don't blame him. He's merely a puppet. Ironic, given I'm the one all tangled up.
So you can talk?
Of course. Only language could allow me to prey upon Kenrick's exquisite inadequacies.
You've been talking to the Eye? Manipulating him?
Into a foolhardy and preposterous plan that only an absolute imbecile could think was worth pursuing, yes. I've been down here for years, laying groundwork and learning what I could about your people. All towards a moment when I could convince Kenrick to act. I almost despaired he ever would. And then, along comes you.
Me?
Oh yes. Kenrick is threatened by you. Terrified even. In your brief time inside the Veil, you've accomplished so much more than he has in decades. Not that that's saying much. Still, you are the perfect catalyst for change. We have that in common, as you will discover in time. So now, he's going to open a gate to the heart of the Enclave, convinced he can recover it from us. And the one person I worry might be able to stop us is here, talking to me. You're fast, but even you can't run to the rescue now.
You've thought of everything. Except, why tell me all this?
Because you're too late to stop us. And even if you weren't, no one would believe you.
Sure. Unless they were listening.
Quit taunting it, Bryn. We've got work to do. The spindle told her to buy time.
Let's hope it doesn't take too long.
seriously about to fight that thing? The spindle told her to buy time. Let's hope Hyla doesn't take too long. Seriously about to fight that thing. Seriously about to fight that.